What's up, dudes and dudettes? Welcome back to the channel. As always, it's me here, Sugi, once again. And today, I'm gonna be giving this sort of an early access review on Oxygen, not included the current patch, which is the Cosmic Upgrade. And I bought the game somewhere around 2017, and ever since there has been like 3 major patches, this being the third one. The one previous one, the rework of the job system and the ranching system was also introduced, and now they came up with Cosmic Upgrade, which essentially allows you to go to the surface of the asteroid that you have crashed on and build up solar panels, among other stuff. And a bit about the premise, what the game is about and all that, a bit of the game mechanics. So it is a space colony, pretty much a simulation game where you have to, what they're called duplicants, are these people who crash there, and you have to like keep them alive. So you have to produce oxygen, you have to find water, you have to clean water which is polluted, you have to feed these people, you have to keep the temperatures right so people won't be feeling too cold or too hot. You have to keep their stress levels low so they won't go angry and break up some of the stuff and equipment you have built. And you have to micromanage quite a lot, and that's really the beauty of the game. I mean, yes, simulation games have existed in the past, but nothing quite like this. I mean, artistically, Clay doing their own spin, and I'm a big fan of Don't Starve, and I really like the art style of this game. It's very colorful, it's really nice to look at, and it's very beautiful. And also, you know, the way that the game mechanics work in this game, some of them are really unique. The physics motors and everything, like, I like that. It's very, very nice. And the game obviously is still in early access for a good reason, especially when I started in 2017. It was very clear that the game lacked proper late game content. So how the game would work essentially is that you would generate a map, and it would like have like random locations where you spawn. Usually it's always the same, but there will be different variations. Sometimes these certain bases and hidden locations you can find in the game will be in a different spot in the generated map, which makes it kind of a different experience each time you play the game. However, as you can choose also the jobs for each of the duplicants. Some will be diggers, some will be builders, some will be medics, some will be cleaning, some will be supplying some of the systems and bringing ingredients there, and somebody will be farming and so on. But as you get like to the very end of the game, like the technologies which you can upgrade, and those are very important very early on the game. I would argue they become less important as you pass through the mid game, so to speak, because if you have like chosen them on the right order and you have built an ecosystem that is pretty much sustaining itself, oxygen is coming out automatically, and you're feeding people and so on. It starts to just become automation towards the end. That's what the late game upgrades are, and also for the asteroid stuff, which was included on the latest patch. And as I already repeated myself, in the last year when I was playing the game, it got really, really boring towards the end because there was not really like much you could do in the end. You technically was beating the game, and technically you weren't. And what they did also not too while ago, they introduced a sandbox mode. And sandbox modes are good too, but it's just I remember playing this strategy game called the Medieval Total War 2. And I love that game. I spent so many hours in it. I think it's one of the best strategy games ever. But the minute I opened the console and learned how to use cheats, that just took all the fun out of me, out from the game, and I couldn't enjoy it anymore. Immediately when I started, I removed all the challenge from the game. And the cool thing about Oxygen Not Included, you can have a very, very hard game if you want to. But the problem right now in the early access, you don't really have a lot of options when you're creating a new map, a new setup. You can tweak how the stress levels increase on the duplicants, and you can increase and decrease the immunity. But even I think that there's obviously a choice where they will never become, they will always will be immune, and then there's the other option that they will never get stressed out. And when you jump into the second, the most immune system, it's not even like what I'm trying to say, that the current like balancing on those levels when you choose the different scale from like this is like easy, hard, medium, and like there's a very very big gap between the full immune and the one after that. So it's not really that noob friendly game if you really want to beat it, and it will be frustrated a lot. But in the beginning perhaps you want to just play with the immunes and zero stress, but even that is just taking so much out of the difficulty from the game, and I think there's a bit of a problem there balancing the game right now to make it like on a right difficulty where you won't be totally overwhelmed, because the game in my opinion tends to be a bit punishing if you do, certain research in a different type of order. I think it's too punishing right now, and maybe perhaps like having the job system available from the very early buildings without having to build the research center. So I think that would be making the game a bit more convenient. But this is my 2 cents. But the game, as I said already, nice graphics. It's really hooking gameplay. And there's always something to explore, and it just has pretty much everything there except that late game. They obviously, these new patches have really addressed that issue, making like a one game, if you don't rewind a lot, it easily can be 40-50 hours, depending on what you do and how bad you are and slow you are. But it's getting there, and when it gets to the full finished product, this game is gonna be awesome. And some of the other issues that I witnessed on the game, like when I launched the game, I first start on the very beginning with 3 duplicants, is like I got 300 FPS or 250 or something. But as the game goes through, it drops to like 60 FPS. And that's not like, the game in a sort of a way is not the most optimized, if I would say, because the game, as the game goes further and further, in the very, very late game, the FPS for me goes like the 30 or something, and that's just brutal. And I don't really know how to fix that. That's really the game developer's thing. Obviously, when you add a lot of fucking stuff, that obviously is going to like keep the fucking frames dropping all the time, and that's just how spanning systems pretty much work, because you got more stuff on the screen because you don't see the whole map in the beginning. So the FPS is just one of the things that I would put up as one of the criticisms for the game right now. But I mean, it's only like $20 on Steam. And even if the late game is not 100% complete in the game yet, it's still gonna give you like 40 to 50 hours, even if you would do a one playthrough, depending how good you are. And even imagining a person doing it first time, I don't think they would be able to beat it, so, and they probably would die. The saving system is obviously there, where you can always load. It has some flaws too, something that they should probably address on. And also, like, when you get like more duplicants, you can have even 100 or 200 eventually, but there's only a limited amount of those skins and faces that exist in the game, and they should increase more of these, because it's kind of very dumb to have 2 same looking characters. Although you can like name them, you can name the planet as well. There's a lot of customization in the game. And sandbox mode, sandbox mode is not really like, it's like there to, okay, I have a problem with my save right now where I'm lacking some water, and so I'm gonna be a bit lazy and I'm gonna spam some water like here in this location. That's the kind of the role of the sandbox mode, but it's not really there to do a custom map which you could like share to other people. That's something that I probably would like to see in the future, and it could make like very, very interesting, and you could like do, well, you could like play around with the AI a lot and like trying to find You know, you could do even like, even if you like could like make other people play the games, you could do like a digging puzzle where you would like dig in a right order to get out of, you know, the trap before running out of oxygen and all that. There's a lot of cool ideas what you can do with the game. And you know, it's a very, very good game, and it's a very, very good you know, price value. And also the new patch is pretty good, and you know, adds a lot of extra hours, to be honest, to the late game portion of the game. And the sounds are good. I think the effects and all those. The music, it's very monotone because there's like literally one track, and they could like add more tracks to it, to be honest. Or you could, maybe you could like build a radio in the game which could like play you different music, perhaps, maybe something like that. But my verdict of the early access version of Oxygen Not Included is that it is a pretty good product right now, even though it's not a finished game. And all of the patches that they have been putting in, which come around like every 5 weeks, being pretty solid. You know, they do proper balancing, they adjust some of the numbers. There are some problems with the AI, like even if you like put the priority to, okay, you're gonna do just food, and then they just end up like doing some random shit. And there should be more those micromanagement options for the duplicants in the game, like denying them from like washing or something like that. And you know, those are things you want to do, and maybe even have some, you know, different options to like customize your colony a bit more. Maybe I was talking about earlier about the different skins and all that. And hey, you can even build a fucking gas chamber in the game. That's how crazy the game is. But I think the whole gas and liquid and oxygen systems, they're really fucking good. They're really well done in this game, and I love it. I really love it. And it's a lot of problem solving inside the game, which makes it really fun. But sometimes you're really frustrated by the RNG of the map that is generated to you. And early on, the priorities and everything is like really easy, but I think the mid game just kind of makes it hard. And I think the immunity systems and the viruses and germs are kind of fucked up. It's something that really needs a lot of fix and balancing, because they end up like being on the fucking beds for a million hours, even though people come to heal them. This is just dumb. Like, there should be, I don't know, like euthanized options for them, or I don't really know, but just need more. I don't like it like the way they have tweaked it a bit over the patches, and then I don't like the current form of it. And I would probably like pretty much want to play without like the whole you know, immunity system altogether on my next save. But thanks for watching this review. I'm not going to make this video any longer. Stay tuned for new reviews on the channel, and I will see you guys next time on the next video. Cheers. Make sure to subscribe and support me by buying games from 2Game. You're probably going to find this game even cheaper. And if you go code Sugi, you get 10% off from your whole order. Great deal. Great deal. And cheers.